You are now rocking with the Patio PolitiCz.
You rocking. Can I get some bells? Can I get some bells?
I get
Back
these
on the
bells
patio
in there.
this morning, this afternoon, this evening, whatever
Man.
time it is, wherever you're watching from, whatever end of the country or the world. Beautiful people out there.
Indeed. Shout outs to LP, the host.
Ow.
Shout outs to DJ Infant J. Shout outs to J5TH. Y'all already know what it is. We underneath the patio.
Yeah.
It's your boy, Sir Mac. T Mills is in the building.
Yes, sir.
Shanka's in the building.
Ow.
How y'all feeling? How y'all doing?
Oh, man. I'm here. I'm present.
Amazing, brother.
Yes.
You know what? As a matter of fact, go ahead and hold that. We're going to go ahead and drop this theme so we can get into
That's
this
what's up.
theme. Bars. Wordplay. Drop
Let's
this theme.
do
We get
it.
into this theme. We're going to be right back at you. It's the Patio PolitiCz.
Sir.
We hope you stay a while, cause it's right for life. Trying to be part of your life. We got whatever you like. Come on and just give us a try, yeah. Cause it's right for life. Trying to be part of your life. We got whatever you like, yeah. Come on and just give us a try, yeah. I said it's right for life. Come in with the shows that you like. We trying to be the best on the mic. DJ playing cuts that you like, yeah. It could be the start of your day, or maybe just the end of your night. But if you rock it with us, Patio PolitiCz is gonna do you right. Oh, cause it's right for life. Trying to be part of your life, yeah. We got whatever you like. Come on and just give us a try, yeah. Cause it's right for life. Trying to be part of your life. We got whatever you like. Come on and just give us a try, yeah. We hope you stay a while.
What up, y'all?
Yes,
we do
yes,
hope you
yes.
stay a while, because if you don't,
Tell them what's going to happen to him.
hey, man, we might put you under the ground. We might send you up to the stars. We might put you in the furnace, drown you in the ocean. What you think,
man. Ooh, I'm scared to answer that question.
Nah, you ain't got to. It's going to be fun. Patio PolitiCz, we in here. Like I said, it's Sir Mac T Mills. Shanga, we underneath the patio.
Yeah.
I think we done dug up into a cup or two.
Man.
Y'all want to go ahead and just drop one of these thug thizzles, one of these things
I
up in
think
the atmosphere?
so. You know, every time we get underneath the patio, it gets real.
I mean, it gets
in
interesting.
here, man.
It gets
So
interesting.
we gonna ease on in today. We done already pulled some pieces.
It's like tub water, real hot tub water.
Exactly.
One
You
toe,
gotta
two toe,
dab.
half
You
a
can't
foot,
just go on and jump
come
right
back
in.
30 minutes, put
Yeah.
another half of the foot in. I like my water hot, but I can't take it immediately.
All right, so what we have here, this says, woo, if a supervillain rose up in real life,
So
similar to Ra's al Ghul, did I say that right?
Ra's al Ghul.
Jigsaw or Thanos, with the goal of restoring the black community through eliminating all the corrupt black people, would they be justified? Bruh.
I mean, a part of me wants to say, well, all of me wants to say, hell yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
You know,
Could you deal with actually watching that carnage happen?
Go ahead.
no. Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead. You already on it. I'm gonna wait my turn.
I just, me in particular, like, I don't watch a whole lot of TV of
Yes.
current events and things going on and taking place. But, you know, if it come to my front door, come to my front step, yeah, I'm going to step out there, get into it a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
You gonna
Have a little
purge?
fun. I mean, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to do the right thing in the right areas with the right people.
So let me ask y'all this then. Okay, so which one of those are y'all most familiar with?
Oh, Thanos, man. Give me the rings, man. Give me the jewels. I'm going to put them in place. Snap a
Thanos
finger or
and
two.
Jigsaw for me.
You know what I'm saying?
Would you? So you would have been okay with like Thanos winning?
I mean, Thanos, he did the right thing, just maybe
He went the wrong
way.
Right.
And to the wrong people, perhaps.
Okay.
I mean, the man just wanted peace, you know, just wanted to reset some things.
Well, see now for me, when I'm looking at this question, I'm like, restoring the black community.
Ooh, it's time for
Through-
my favorite question. what is restoring the black community?
All right, hold on before we get there.
Okay,
Let me just touch
We
this.
unpacking that.
Yeah, that's a whole suitcase
lot.
full. When I'm looking at this, I'm just like, eliminating all the corrupt black people is not what's going to restore the black community.
Mm-hmm.
So while I could see how that might be a little beneficial, if you did that, you still wouldn't be restoring the black community, because there's outside entities that are penetrating the black community, which is causing the majority of the issue. If you eliminated those things or eradicated those things, then I think you would have less corrupt black people that would need to be eliminated. So,
Well, let me approach it from this standpoint too. What I noticed is that not even just characters like that, but people like that in real life in certain communities keep a certain code, almost like how you see like the Italians won't step out of order.
Yeah,
because they know good and well, like, you mess with somebody else's family or you mess with somebody's family who we're
rules to
familiar
this.
with. Yeah, it's rules to this.
Mm-hmm.
So not so much like, I don't think it would be so much about them just going out slaughtering folks, but like you would set a code amongst our people that's like, no, we're trying to get from here to here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do something corrupt that takes us off this track, this is what happens to you. And it sounds like a lot of carnage, but we don't, but people lash out and do things that they know they can get away with because they can.
This is giving me real council vibes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, I mean, again, I'm just going to go back to, I'm not mad at that. If we set a precedence in our community and we say, this is what we're doing, this is where we are, this is where we're working at. And if you do anything outside of that, then there's a consequence to be paid. I'm here for that. That's tribe. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens in villages anyway. But for the rest of the question, I still feel like that really wouldn't matter too much, because the restoring that needs to be done is systematic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
It's economic. So
It's outside of us.
yeah.
But it's also
outside
inside of us.
Now, one thing I can say, just speaking along the lines of what you just said, T, it makes me think about when everybody was supposed to be boycotting, who was at like Gucci and all,
Right.
Yeah.
And then so everybody's like, oh, we done with Gucci.
And people were still shopping because I was working for Gucci at
I
that
was
time.
gonna say, what's
So
his name?
Nothing really stopped.
Floyd Mayweather
Okay.
was like, I don't give a fuck. I got my Gucci out. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
And it's like somebody put you back in line. Like,
Yeah. I mean, you got some people that's going to stand up for the fight, and some folks are just like, I ain't fit to mess up my money.
and those are the people
So-
that always usually end up fucking it up. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day when they said we ain't riding the buses, nobody was riding a
the
bus.
buses, exactly.
And if it was, I'm sure we don't know those storylines.
Yeah.
Because people wasn't talking about it. But it wasn't enough of them that people wrote about it in the newspaper and said, oh, these black people are not riding a bus, but these black people are. We've gotten away from that energy. Everybody just want to be their own man or be their own woman instead of functioning as a community and as a tribe. And so that's the issue.
Now, do you see it being the same need though? If like say we did get to a better place where we did have our own like developed today farther on from Black Wall Street, you're still gonna have those out there who are gonna run with the Trumps of the world,
Yes.
run with the Bidens of the world, however, whatever side of the spectrum you're on.
Yes.
And those that do things to sabotage us
Yes.
per se. Because the way I'm looking at it too is like, it's not so much about just eliminating the corruption would put us in a better place, but the precedent you set. Like, if you watch them Jigsaw
Like,
movies
we
and
not
you
tolerating it.
see what he did to them, and it was like, yo, everybody who got taken out like on the principle of what they did to
On
others.
their own account, they did. Yeah, it was from what they did.
I have never seen not a one Jigsaw
Are
movie.
you kidding me?
Not
Oh,
one.
man,
Not a-
those
you'll
are-
be surprised. You'll be
What?
surprised. This is a lot of movies that got trilogies and things of that nature. And it's just
like 10 of
I
them.
ain't-
Hey, Jigsaw, I was just gonna say, because you asked Mac, which one, and he said Thanos, but Jigsaw. I like Jigsaw.
I like Jigsaw, too.
Even though Jigsaw, we kind of get a little off topic, but even though Jigsaw was, I think, a little more inhumane.
He was psychotic.
With the
Yeah.
things that was taking place, it was also like teachable moments for the people who were in the space. You haven't seen it, so I'm gonna give you an example. Like, you went to walk out to your car, and then somebody hit you, and you wake up and you locked in this studio room right here.
Bullshit.
But the things in here are weird. It's like a dead body slumped over there in a corner, and you know what I'm saying? And you're chained to something. You got to figure out how to get out of there. Yeah. But it's a saw sitting right next to you. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything
was along the lines. So like, for instance, there was a dude who was a murderer, and he spent most of his life in prison. And then he had plenty of times to people tried to help him get his life on track. And Jigsaw was like, you spent most of your life in prison in chains. So he woke up in a room in chains. And he was like, you got to get to every key and free yourself before that bomb goes off that's sitting on your stomach, you know.
Question is, would you like Jigsaw in this predicament, though? Like, haven't we already been through a lot of inhumane things? If we're looking to restore the community?
Here's the thing, and I can't believe y'all about to get me to say this on the mic, okay? But yes.
Wow.
And let me tell you why.
Please do.
Because Black people, I love y'all. Because I think today, even though, yes, you are absolutely right, our ancestors definitely, I mean, we still have definitely been exposed to very inhumane conditions and things like that. Mm-hmm. But in the spirit of what T is talking about, where we have set a precedence, and if you move outside of that, there's a consequence for it. I'm here for it, because it's only going to have to happen once or twice, and then everybody else is really going to catch it. You know what I'm saying?
Know what to do with.
So, for example, real quick, Malidoma Somé, many blessings to him. He and his wife are now in the ancestral realm, but he has a book called Rituals. He's a brother out of Benin in Africa, and he's talking about his tribe and how they function as a community. Mm-hmm. And so he's saying anybody that is in this tribe, in this community, are agreeing upon these certain things, ways that we live. And so if someone were to go against one of those things, he gave an example of a man who decided that he would allow foreigners to come in and give them the secrets of their spiritual practices in the community. Wow. And so he broke a major rule, right? So what they did was they kicked him out of the community, like literally kicked him out of the community. Right. So now this man is just like wandering around in the forest, you know, near their village and stuff. And what he's saying is that man no longer exists to this community at all. So that man started thinking he was going crazy and thought that he was like invisible, because people would walk by him and they would give him no energy whatsoever.
It's like you're dead to me.
He's a walking
not
ghost.
Like he is. He's dead to them. Ghost. And so the other part of it was, he said that anybody who attempted to try to help that man get back into the community would also be exiled, because they are agreeing with him on the decision that he made to go against what they decided as a community they would do and how they would live. So,
and now and to expand on that too, exactly what you're explaining is similar to, so for those that don't know, Ra's al Ghul is actually Batman's original villain. Like that is how Batman came to be Batman.
Okay.
And Batman Begins, his secret society was called the League of Shadows, but in the original comics it was called the League of Assassins.
Okay.
But basically, Bruce Wayne, ran away from Gotham and tried to become a underground criminal in other countries.
Oh.
So Ra's al Ghul took him under his wing, trained him up how to be a ninja and how to fight and everything.
He's the one that taught Batman how to do all the Batman.
He's the one who taught Batman. But then after Batman became his best student, he learned that Ra's al Ghul's whole purpose was like his secret society, the League of Shadows, went around the world like restoring different societies. And then at the end of the movie, towards the end, he revealed, he was like, they were responsible for the plague in Europe. He's like, we went into every single country and sacked them. He's like, every time civilization reaches the pinnacle of corruption, we go in and we restore the balance. And so Gotham City was next, and he was like, we already tried to restore Gotham. He's like, we tried different policies, we tried economics, we tried to feed the poor, we tried to help those corrupt in the government. And then he at the end, he was even explaining to Bruce, he was like, look at how your parents died. He's like, your parents got shot by one of the very people that they brought in and tried to help. And so, you know, one of his quotes, I think, was, he was like, when the forest grows too wild, the purging fire is inevitable.
Ooh.
You know, and so
that's truth.
And so he basically, his goal was to return to Gotham and pretty much
just tear Gotham down. He's like, it can't be restored.
He said this city has become so corrupt, we've infiltrated every level of infrastructure easily,
and nothing's changed.
And he's like, hunger, corruption, poorness. You know, looking at how people are treating the poor and kids. You know, so ultimately, it's like you're watching the movie, and I'm like, why is Batman really trying to stop him and save Gotham? Like, he said, Gotham is beyond saving.
Ah, that's cold.
I got a personal vendetta against Batman.
I saw you over there cringing while he's talking about Ra's al Ghul.
I mean, we ain't got to get into it, you know. It's just, to me, just Batman sucks, you know.
I mean,
but say,
he's a glorified villain.
I was finna say,
he sucks as a villain. Then, if that's the case, like, he has a utility belt,
because he's technically an illegal vigilante. He's just,
yes.
And then that's where Bane comes in, because Bane comes in and fulfills
darkness is your friend.
Oh my goodness.
I am your ally.
So, like, that's why I said with this question is like, I mean,
why does it have to be a supervillain though? Why isn't that looked at as a superhero?
That's the thing though. Would that even be looked at as a hero? Because if you look at what Ra's al Ghul is doing in almost any culture, any religion, that's what God did. It's like, look, I'm fed up with y'all. Like, look,
that's what's happening right now outside of our doors now.
He's like, y'all would rather choose bondage and choose Sodom and Gomorrah. You rather dwell there and spend all your days there than, and like, I'm trying to restore y'all, you know. And then the person I send in to help you, you kill him. I mean, I'm not saying that like Bruce's parents is the same relation, but it's like, you know, I send you Jesus, you kill him.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's kind of like, that's what I mean in the sense of like, should we look at it, you know?
I mean, it's a tricky situation.
And Jigsaw, no different. If you notice, every time Jigsaw killed somebody, the doctor he killed, he was a cancer patient himself, right?
Yes.
And then he had found that he had malpractices. I was going to say,
didn't he start doing? He was doing tricky things to people.
Well, he was letting patients die, and he was waiting too long to diagnose them till they was like in stage 4.
As far as the Jigsaw perspective is being talked about or whatever, like, is, how can I put this? Are we working for the outside in or from the inside out if we're taking a Jigsaw approach to restoring the Black community?
Jigsaw would be from the inside out. Yeah. And but
is that appropriate?
But think about it.
Well,
the actual, that would put certain kind of fear into people, because the way Jigsaw kidnapped people, was like he would catch you in the least expected space.
Yes.
Ooh.
And that's why.
So it's not like the police is coming. It's like, no, I could be in your bathroom when you get home.
Yeah.
From this right now.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's why I was saying, like, in the realm of giving respect to our ancestors who've experienced things, you know, really extremely heinous. If we were to be able to gather all the Black people of America into one space.
Yeah.
And get everybody, or at least a good 90% of them, to agree
and be on the same
that we're
page.
all gonna do this, this, and these are the things that we're not gonna do. And then everybody actually went home and started to move in those fashions.
Absolutely, necessarily moved in those
fashions.
Exactly.
Of course, right off top, that would put us in a different position. Internally and externally, because a lot of these people have, you know, positions high up, you know, in different places. We got judges, we got lawyers, senators, and, you know, all of those things. But if that were to happen in a perfect world, I really do believe that we would probably only have to jigsaw like 5%. And the only reason
Probably
I
less
say
than that.
probably less than that. And the only reason why I said 5% is because I'm thinking about all of the states in the United States. So it would have to probably happen once or twice in each one of those places for people to be like, so they wasn't playing when they said that we not touching another Gucci nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like if you get caught beating your wife, okay, then we're gonna put you.
Yeah, we whooping your
We're
wife.
gonna put you in a chamber where you got a machine that's hitting you constantly until you die.
Or we just don't let your wife come in and whoop your
or you know,
her and her girls coming in.
or like the one dude they had in Jigsaw, he was selling drugs to kids and whatnot. So then he was like, he kept trying to get out instead of solve the puzzle, and I think he fell into like a pool of needles.
Yeah.
And he stabbed himself to death, and all the needles were like infected with old.
And see, that's the thing about
so it's
Jigsaw
like
that
you're dying by the same sword you
by
carried
the
out.
same sword. So that's what I was gonna say. That's the only reason why I picked Jigsaw.
It's touchy, but I can rock with it. If
it is touchy,
and it's bad for me. I feel like it's bad to say that, but it's just like if we could make an example, not like we haven't already been making examples of each other,
Right.
but for the wrong things. But if we can make an example of a few of us, with all of us in the room, and just be like, you know what, I ain't trying to end up like that.
Yes.
Let's just work together and let's walk outside these doors and overtake the world.
Here's the interesting part, or at least how I view the world and the things that are happening. I've had conversations with people about this. I tell people all the time, we all have a destiny. We all have a path and a journey that we're on, right? Our spirit came here to make some things happen. You can take, some little off roads, get a little off, but hopefully something along that road gets you back into alignment. But you have some people whose destinies are to get caught by the jigsaw. You know what I'm saying? So that they can be the one to have the storyline that changes somebody. And I always bring up Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? What's the other baby name?
Tamir Rice.
Tamir Rice.
You have to make an example.
I bring them up because we know that things like that happen in our communities too often. So what made them, not in a bad sense, but what made them special enough that their storylines hit the news for everybody to know is because that was what they need. That was their purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Sad to say.
Right.
Sad to say, right? That they fulfilled a purpose, and it is supposed to shift people in a positive way.
Yeah, but it definitely didn't.
But it definitely did not.
Right.
No, people aren't saying, let me put my gun down or let me police my own community as much as they should after watching these things happen, and so that's why when I first read it, I was like, would more violence in our community actually help? Or, would it accomplish the goal that we're talking about? And on the one hand, I'm going to say no, because we're already watching it. You know what I'm saying? We just seen a brother from Migos land on the floor. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Without a spirit in his body on the internet. Yeah. So.
I think the difference too, though, in especially these supervillains versus like a council that's doing something positive, or like what we see now is Jigsaw was actually instilling fear in people because it was coming up in like news articles in the
really
movie. Yeah, if you watch the
like
later
in
movie.
real life.
No. I'm talking about like no, I'm talking about like in the later movies and whatnot. Like because even some of the cops who were investigating it were like, well, this dude was a killer, so he was, and they had to solve the case, of course, because it was their job. But like, even some of the cops were agreeing, and then like when they were showing news articles of like the Jigsaw killer strikes again.
But he ain't really a killer. He's giving you,
and that's the thing. He never really killed anybody.
Kill yourself
to become a killer of your own
of yourself.
like one dude, I think he was. One dude was touching girls and whatnot. So he was like, you have, the Bible said, you have lustful eyes, and so he was like, you can die or lose your eyes, or so you won't have the chance to look on another young girl, or
did he have to pull his own eyes out?
I think
gouge his own eyes out,
something like that.
It's
pretty
always
gory.
something like that. I keep thinking about the one where the guy's like sawing off his
foot off,
to try to get out of the chain. But is that the same one where the key went down the drain like early on at the beginning?
I think so. The doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, here's my question, and it might be crazy, but if nobody or nothing else is in that room trying to kill you, why not just sit it out?
Because they don't realize, they don't know what's going on.
They have no. They always have a timer.
Yeah, I was going to say there's always some type of threat that's coming if you don't hurry up.
Like if you don't act, then you'll die in a worse way.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, you know.
Has anybody ever
made it out?
Not
Yeah.
reacted?
I think
and
so.
died.
No, everybody's reacting.
Most of them die.
Yeah,
some people have made it out. Like one dude, I
they
think
be fucked up, but.
Actually, the dude who cut his foot off almost made it out because he cut his foot off.
I'm looking
but
for
then
the
didn't
one,
oh boy that was Jigsaw, wasn't he in there and he shot him?
He was dead on the floor. For most of the movie he looked like he was dead on the floor, and then he woke up at the end.
Yes.
I'm looking for the one though. That's like the time is running out. It's just like that time gonna have to run out. I'm just gonna see what's going on.
Because
nobody ever actually did that.
Because what he has set up in the room is always something that's going to urge you to get the fuck up and do something. Because sometimes, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't seen Jigsaw in a long time, but if I'm not mistaken,
he could be
at one point he had like, he was showing people like their families and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Basically letting you know, like, if you don't do something up in here, I could grab your daughter, I could grab your wife, I can grab your son. Those kind of things.
So there was one doctor.
You ain't gonna say do it when you wake up and you got a motherfucking bear thing around your neck. And, you know what I'm saying?
There was one doctor, he had like strapped like TNT right around her neck and whatnot, and she was formerly his doctor. She was seeing when he had cancer, and she kept giving him excuses on why he couldn't get his treatment and whatnot. So when she woke up with that on, and she was like, "Oh yeah, the timer will go off like if you don't operate on me or find out how to like heal me in the allotted time."
Yes,
and I mean, it's gonna be a couple of me in the community is all I'm saying.
Oh, and all I'm saying is you haven't seen Jigsaw.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
Gonna get your ass in there and you gonna wake up.
They all tried to get out. Trust, they all tried to get out.
You gonna try something.
I mean, well, yeah, I'll probably.
And then sometimes he'll have like multiple people in the space. He's made people kill each other.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then they end up still killing themselves for this Jigsaw.
Or he made it where it was like in one thing there was a corrupt cop in there that was like arresting people and putting people away for false offenses. So he put his son inside the house with all the people that he put away, and then they had to figure out, oh, that's that cop who put me away for 30 years.
Does it really have to come to that to restore our community, though?
I don't think so.
You say that, but
yeah. Well,
what else has worked?
Well, here's the thing, and that's why when we first started, I said I don't think that eliminating the corrupt Black people in our community will restore it.
Because they're not in real power. They're not in control.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
They're just pawns.
So for me, what it would take is what we're already doing, just on an individual level, because you got to pop people's top and help them think outside the box. After they start to think outside the box, everything else around them that they see, they'll start to catch the things that are needed to change. But for me, each individual person has the opportunity. So for example, I really like the idea, Tupac, lyrics, one of the lyrics in his song, he said, the power is in the people and politics we address. I always hold that near and dear to my heart. It's always flowing in my mind, because that's really where the change is. You have to change the things that you're standing on. And so that means as Black people in America, we have to change the things that America's standing on, which is the law. So if we can get into the places and spaces to start to create and back legislation that helps us, then that's where we begin to make the changes. Shout out to Safe and Just for their project. SB 731 just got signed by Governor Newsom, and that now allows people who've had felony convictions, nothing having to do with any type of sexual assault and things like that, but after 3 years, they are eligible to get their records sealed. It's those kind of things. I didn't know until I met them met the people over at Safe and Just in Time Done, that there's like 48,000 jobs a person with a felony can't get, including like walking a dog. You cannot walk a dog. Dead serious.
Really?
Walking a dog. They can't do like in-home care services for their family. They can't be like the little league coach and stuff like that. It don't matter what the felony is. So things like that will start to change our community.
Yeah.
So for me, that's my end. It's like, all right, let me just start putting my hand in more legislative places so that I can change the fabric. And once we change the fabric, it looks different.
You jumping into the war if it breaks, if one
Me,
breaks
I'm purging the fuck out of people.
Yeah.
The actual purge.
I'm not gonna ask who you gonna go for. I ain't trying to get you
Nah, I would never tell you that.
Do y'all really honestly think if we had a purge that people would just go?
what? People purge without having
No, I'm talking about like with the actual alarm. Like you got 12 hours.
Oh, do you
and
think
ain't
they
no
would
crime.
stop?
Are you kidding me? People purge without even
hey,
like,
you know
do
what?
I just, but it says all crime. Why?
All crime.
Why would you rush out to kill people, bro? I'm going
Because
to
it's-
the banks.
It's happening already.
Because it's people out here that's really just waiting to hurt somebody.
Yeah,
It's
that's
happening
True.
already.
But you know what? Let me be real. If a nationwide purge happened, I'm gonna get the fuck out the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the fuck out the way. However, if a war, and because I consider a purge to be different from a war.
Gotcha.
If a war broke out, I'm with all the shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you the woman king.
I am with all the shit.
Because it's us versus someone else.
That part right there.
Us is in us.
yeah.
Us
okay,
as in
yeah.
whoever's right
Okay.
here with me. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Black
But
folks or black and brown folks or
whoever.
okay.
whoever. And so for me, like the purge is beneficial for crazy people who have taught themselves how to be sane.
I mean, they said the purge was about eliminating crime. Supposedly in that movie, crime got down to 1%.
But that's
Because you give everybody 24 hours to commit crime.
listen,
Like,
did you
get it out
not
your
just
system.
hear what I said? Crazy people who have taught themselves to be sane. So
Oh, you mean so they're crazy?
they're actually crazy, but
Okay,
they've
got
taught
it.
themselves how to live responsibly in the communities without going for the urges that they have.
I feel
Basically,
like
be
that's
fake.
everybody.
So yeah, they're fake.
I feel like
That's practically the
no,
world.
no. Do y'all want to secretly, when you at your house in your own time and space, do you be like, I wonder what it would be like to sever somebody's head and stick a finger up their nose?
nah.
Not you, Mac. Not you. Y'all know.
But I mean, I'd
that's what I'm
rob a
talking-
couple of banks, you know.
See, but you talking about doing something to an institution. The purge is people on people violence.
Yeah.
Well, the purge is all crime legal, but people do people on people violence.
Because people are violent and people are crazy pretending to be sane.
Yeah, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to hold on to that right there. Patio Politics, Sir Mac, T. Mills, Shanga. We're going to be right back at ya.
Yes. I'm just saying. I'm a
Dr. King, he was love. Malcolm X, he was love. Love in this business will get you killed. You have to set an example. You have to draw a line. When they see that line, and if they cross it, there will be hell to pay. They must know that.
¿Lo tienes?
And the difference is they thought black people was going to kill each other. All black people want to do was turn up.
yeah.
They went in the streets.
We
and
having fun.
They brought out
Just
the
wanted to
speakers
party.
and they
That's
was turning
black
up, turning
Just
up
wanted
and
to
eating
party.
food. I mean, you had one crazy dude out there who went out there and he was slicing people, but they paid him. So,
To maybe start off something.
but it was like all the young black folks, they got dressed up like it was Halloween and start partying.
Man, I need to
They,
watch that.
they had the purge came along. The twist
first purge.
was that they sent white people in like Blood and Crip
Of course.
Yeah.
dressed up like
As
them,
always.
to make it look like black folks was killing each other.
Yeah,
Usual,
like they do
usual.
all the time.
It's like all black people want to do is party.
Because black people just like
You are now rocking with the Patio PolitiCz.
What up, y'all? We are back on the patio.
out
Back with Sir
here.
Mac.
Yeah.
Back with Miss Shangwe.
Yeah. Yeah.
They call you Treble T.
They call me Mill Suave, but you can call me whatever
Mill
you want.
Suave.
This man got a lot of names now. He
Ooh,
collected.
hold on,
He collected.
Zaddy.
As a matter of fact, I'm surprised that I ain't had to jump in between the both y'all. Y'all acting very civil today.
What
Civil,
you mean?
civil
We
today.
are
mean? We
civil. What are you
always
talking
civil.
about?
Y'all usually get to a portion where y'all like snapping at each other like
no,
a
that's
couple of
because
times.
Man,
Tyree be
Shanga
sitting
got the
over there.
medicine, you
I was
know.
finna say looking like he want to sop me up. With, you know what I'm saying? I be
treat you
having
like a
a
little biscuit,
Man,
a little
cover my eyes
biscuit.
a little
I
bit.
enjoy some chocolate for dessert.
Yeah.
You know?
Ooh,
So-
watch out now.
saying.
Wait a minute.
It's getting hot.
Message.
It's getting hot. It's getting hot. Might have to talk to him after the episode. I
Maybe
don't
so.
know.
Holla
I'm
at
just
your
saying.
girl T. Wait, what you say? What was it?
Mill
Mill
Suave.
Suave.
Mill Suave.
Holla at me, Mill Suave.
You got that medicine for me?
Ooh, ow.
Y'all terrible. Y'all terrible. Let me ask this.
Uh-huh.
See, let's see where we could go with this. What do you think, in your own personal mindset, needs to be restored about the black community?
Honor. Everything comes down to honor.
Love. Everything comes down to love.
Explain honor.
Honor, to me, when I look at what sums up all the issues, is you looking at things and seeing that there is something greater than self going on.
Yeah.
So you will do what is necessary. I mean, that's how I was. That's how I was raised, but also in the ways that I wasn't raised for it, I've attempted to apply to, so that I don't get frustrated with things that aren't always about me or don't serve me best. But I'm recognizing, like, okay, no, this is for the greater good. I don't think in the black community we actually think about serving the greater good. We think about self in a lot of ways.
We're in survival mode in
we
the black
think-
community.
Yeah, I was gonna say we think we're serving the greater good by serving self, but
Not even serving the greater self.
right. Well, I mean, if you look at and I'm not saying that we are like any other community, but I mean, look at why was the Roman Empire so strong, and look at how their soldiers moved. You know, look at how was it the Musketeers or the Spartans?
Mm-hmm.
All those that were like the most fierce and whatnot. It was like, you know, everybody's all in or all out, and we just got it in the wrong direction. We got our honor in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have our honor in the right places. We don't have our honor in the family,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in the home. We're slowly making strides back to it, but everything encompasses honor. When it comes to love, I don't disagree with you, but I think in order to honor love, I mean, there has to be honor in love, not just love based off of, you know, when things are going my way.
Well,
Speak on your love.
I said love because for me, that is the purest vibration of the Most High. And moving in love, for me, brings the honor, brings the loyalty, brings all those other things. If I am looking not just at myself as love, but looking out at love around me, then my behavior changes towards you. My behavior changes towards her, towards him. When I see something that's going wrong, or you attempt to do something because of your own programming that may be harmful to me, I'm not taking it personally, because I'm able to view you through the eyes of love, and I understand through the eyes of love. That gives me the understanding that you have something else personal going on that has nothing to do with me. Although in this moment in time, something has irritated the space enough to where you've now projected it towards me, but the reality is it has nothing to do with me. So when you do that, instead of me reacting in a negative way to cause a larger situation, I'm just going to react in love, and either I'm going to address it, or I'm going to dismiss myself to allow you the opportunity for whatever space it is that you need. So that's why I said for me, it's love. It's easy for you to walk up to somebody and shoot them in the face when you don't see a reflection of yourself. Yeah. Or sometimes you see a reflection of yourself, and that's why you're doing it. So love is missing. Self-love is missing, and then that external love is missing also. So, and that's why I said that's what we see outside right now in the world is a form of the Most High's purge. We're like, oh my God, this just keeps happening. It's happening more and more. And I keep just trying to remind people that chaos comes before order.
Message!
So right now we are, even though we've always felt like we were in the storm of chaos, we are literally, energetically, spiritually, and physically in the midst of the chaotic storm right now. COVID happening, monkeypox popped up and then went away. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Monkeypox was here for 2 days.
yeah, you know. So all of those things are signs. If you've read the Bible, if you've read other stories, you've seen that, like you said, with Thanos, like, okay, once it gets ridiculously out of hand or so far off kilter, you need something that will bring it back into balance. So that's literally what we're living in 2022 is the eye of the storm.
And would you call that a form, like, it sounds like you're saying that's a form of love too, like restoring.
Absolutely. It's absolutely a form. It don't look nice.
Right.
Yeah.
It definitely doesn't look nice.
And it's a
But
challenge.
what's happening though, here, and that's what I keep trying to get people to see. Yeah, we're used to focusing on the part that's fucked up. But what's happening from the part that's fucked up? So for example,
Discipline.
right now, Takeoff, right? Everybody's talking about hip hop right now. You have hip hop moguls who are saying, hey, y'all dying too young. It's about love. We got to change this. We got to do this. We got to do that. These are the things that Nipsey died. We didn't see that happening.
Right.
Right?
It's a question of how much does it have to take?
That's what I'm saying to you. I'm telling you, we've already had how many rappers in the last 5 years? 10, 11, 12. I don't know what the number is.
Yeah.
Nobody really was saying what they're saying right now, what they've been saying in the last 5 days. Those people in those high places have not started speaking out. Now you're starting to see white people or Jewish people speaking out against record executives and things like that. People are tired. So this is the time now where, as a Black community, yeah, we feel like we are drenched in it. And at this point, we are just seriously tired of seeing it. But now is the time where it's changing. You have Black people in senates and judicial seats. You have brown people in senates, judicial seats who can actually make the change. The triggers have been pulled. These triggers have already been pulled years and years before, but now today we have the right people in places and spaces to really make some change. You know, even with what's his name? The basketball player.
Kyrie
Irving.
Even with him.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, I know there are more than just this one Black man that wants to speak on the things that he's spoken on and stand on the things that he stood on. But before today, the probability that brother could leave that league and go to another league in America,
Yeah.
it was zero.
Yeah.
We did just have a couple Black people make some moves to start to create their own league. Do they have the dollars yet? Not all the way like the NBA, but we on our way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just try to tell people, focus on the good things that you see are happening and not so much focus on the bad things, because those bad things are going to continue to happen. People are going to continue to die at drastic numbers for a minute, because that's what it's going to take for the consciousness of humanity to shift.
There's more people that's either scared or just doesn't have what it takes to move up into position to be able to make a difference. Like it's easy for us to say something, but you know, once we say something like a Kyrie Irving and things of that nature, we become a marked individual.
Yeah.
You know, everybody either turns against us or they rock with us silently. You know, so it's just.
But see, that's why I said love, and I made sure to say self too, because my walk looks different from people that I know. Right? That means I've had to stand on some things that made people either rock with me silently or verbally speak against it. But because I'm comfortable in knowing that the Most High told me and set me in this position, I'm okay not to waver. You know what I'm saying? And that's the one thing I see with the brother. This is probably my second or third time seeing him sit on the platform and say, I don't really give a fuck what y'all talking about. Y'all not shaking me. I'm saying what I'm saying.
I'm not apologizing.
You know?
Second,
and
yeah.
so what we have to remember to do as a community, because people feel helpless because they don't understand how spirit works. We haven't been taught that part. We've been taught to go to church and pay your tithes and don't do this and don't do this and don't do this, but do these things. But the reality is the majority of our religious institutions have not taught people how to have a true connection with the Most High, a true connection with spirit.
Nope.
And so when we have people like him who are standing on his square, and he's firmly saying, I'm doing this and I'm saying this and I'm not moving, we're not hopeless and he's not helpless waiting for somebody to come chop him down.
Facts.
Those of us who are in the know and who understand how spirit works, all we need to do is get into our prayer closets, get into our spaces and places where we have people of like mind, and make sure that we send and visualize protective energy around that man and his family, because he is making a stand that will help us. So all we have to do is guard him and keep him safe. And we can do that just by doing those things.
Message.
Yeah. Question. And this is probably it's probably gonna ruffle a lot of feathers, but it's real simple. It's really simple. Simple. Is it possible for you to hate anyone if you love yourself thoroughly and completely? Because I now that you got into the love aspect of it, it really is centered around that, in my opinion, because if you love yourself enough, you ain't got time to hate the next person. But so many people out here hating on the next, and it happens a lot within our community, way too much, to where it's like we can all really come together and have it together.
Yes, we can.
But it's just like, I want more than you for some odd reason. And what are you going to do with that more other than give it back?
Blow it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so what is it really all about when we could just really come together as a nation of people and really put it down? Like, but that's my question. Can you hate somebody when you love yourself?
You mean anybody?
Period. Like, fully. What you got, Jazz?
Pull up on us.
I think you can, even though I think you can still hate someone, even though you may love yourself, or you can love yourself and admire a person so much
that it turns to hate.
That's
true.
crazy though.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate, but that's true.
But I agree.
If you hate somebody else, you can still love yourself, because ain't no telling what that individual or that person may have did to make you hate them. You know,
that's a self decision. It really is a self decision to hate somebody else.
Yes,
it doesn't
it
matter
is.
what you do. It doesn't matter what you do, what y'all do, or whatever. I am, outside of God, I am the first and last decider of what it is that I am and what it is that I do.
Truth.
sometimes turns into, like, you know, I think
Admiration turns to jealousy and
It
hate.
turns into
It could.
hate.
It's so many.
What you
fine
say?
I mean,
Love yourself first, though.
'Cause-
Love yourself.
there's different forms of it. Like, I agree with what she says. And also,
Why does
like,
Tyree look so confused? Like he's
well,
like,
because
Like I said, it's a complex question.
I'm dissecting what he's saying.
But it's simple at the same
Yes.
time. It's a dance. It's really a dance, because it make you think about a lot of different avenues of loving yourself and then hating somebody at the same time.
But would you say that's the same as you loving yourself or being jealous of somebody?
If you jealous of somebody, you jealous. So you
love them?
that's outside of your love, but you must love to be a jealous person. Like it's nothing that anybody.
Can't love to hate somebody?
For me personally,
It's just
yeah. I get it. I got you.
I don't think they're the same though,
Okay.
because I've had a family member that I had like not I guess what you call it, an emotional breakthrough when you have a difficult conversation.
Yeah.
I had a family member that I grew up with, and literally in recent years we went on a family vacation, and I found out that like he was jealous of me growing up, but loved me to death and would like do anything for me, versus somebody who actually hates me and is jealous of me. Like I don't think they're the same thing.
Okay.
Because the person loved me, and we got through a lot of things that were misunderstood about each other growing up.
That's cool.
You know, he was like, I thought you had this, and this. And I was like, well, what you thought was wrong.
He just aspired to be like you, but didn't have the understanding.
No, he aspired to be what he thought I was.
Yeah.
And so you know, that's not, and it didn't make him do anything hateful towards me. It just affected the way that he looked at me, but he still loved me.
Yeah.
Versus somebody who actually hates you, would love to see you fall, would love to see your downfall.
And for what? What is that gonna do? That's
You know?
I mean, well, yeah, that's glorified, yes, of course, but it's just, it makes no sense to me. And I feel like if we were to look in the mirror, and that's something that a lot of people don't like to do.
It's people who look at their face every day and still can't see themselves.
Facts.
I don't know how not to. It's very difficult. It's hard. But like, you look in the mirror, you go to war with yourself, you figure out your own personal issues, and that's something that a lot of people don't want to do.
No, they don't.
I said don't want to do.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Not going to do it.
Yep.
Because of how powerful it is, and it's just too much. It's too
Yes.
much. I'd rather go over here
Yes.
and live in perception and just leave it at that. It's nice how I made it over here. I made this cot. I made this bed.
It feels
over here.
good.
It's comfortable.
This bed of nails, I've made it comfortable.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
better.
I learned how to lay on it the right way
Yes,
to where it
I
don't
got a
pierce
little
my
groove
skin.
right
You know what I'm
here.
saying?
You know,
Like, but I feel like if we were to do that first, then we would be able to become to love ourselves.
Yes.
Make it easier to love one another.
Yes.
To then be able to come together
Yes.
and move in the proper. It's just
Well,
people, love yourself.
I don't
What
think
I would
people.
say-
I don't think people even fully understand love and hate.
No, they do
no,
not.
they don't.
To assign like what is and what isn't, because it's like, okay, I put it to you this way: if you came across a Klansman who brought terror to your family
Yes.
your entire life, and you got a chance to
Fuck his shit up.
be face to face with them. Yeah, I'm not even gonna tell you what you could or couldn't do.
Okay.
Face to
You're
face
just
with them.
face to face.
Yeah, they got no way. There's no calling the cops. There's
Yes.
no. You are across from them.
Yes.
You could do anything you want.
Yes.
Are you going to hug and kiss on them?
No.
Back?
No. No.
Why not show them love?
I mean,
I'm showing them love at the fact that they're still breathing, standing in front of me.
by still
But
being in the same atmosphere.
But are we okay? So I put it to you this way: sometimes I feel like in society we're kind of like coerced to be politically correct to say
Yes.
we want to show love. And
Yes.
it's like, no, if somebody did something to you that you feel immense hate for, it looks bad upon you, yes, to say that you hate someone. But like, how many times do we hear people in different platforms, it sounds ridiculous, ask like, you know, SA victims, grape victims, YouTube sensitive,
Yes.
to forgive their
Yes. They're so wrong.
forgive the people who did it
Who
to
did
them.
that, yes.
You know,
But
and-
don't those people get their just due when it's time for them to receive that?
but I'm talking about, why do we tell the victims
Why do you
to
tell
then
the
go
victim
back
to
and
go
love on them?
and love on them? Yeah,
It's a cop out.
that's a no for me.
It's a cop out.
But
I'm not having nobody tell me that I need to go back and forgive all them Caucasian oppressors for graping my ancestors.
well, see, here's if I could answer the question real quick.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. You could. We're going back to being in the room, you know, with this Klansman who's tormented my family, right?
Your whole life.
My generationally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know me.
And he smiles at you as he does it too. He ain't apologetic.
No, he likes it. So here's my thing. Just like we said that love is happening right now in the midst of this storm where all the crazy things are happening and people are dying, sometimes people need to be sent back to primordial waters to be rebirthed, a new spirit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so if I'm standing in front of this person, that means that I see the oppositional energy in that person's eyes. There's nothing that I need to do in that moment except cut his motherfucking head off and say a prayer and send his spirit back where he needs to go so he can start all over again.
The medicine is carnage. You just
I'm gonna cut his head
Sean
off.
gonna put it in the nicest way possible.
I'm gonna cut his shit off.
Like,
You know what I'm
there's nothing
saying?
left for me to do but cut his head off.
Yes. And here's the thing, because people, would say like, oh, you hated that person, I genuinely can sit here and tell y'all that the majority of the people who use the word hate has never experienced the energy of hate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To really hate somebody is a really strong thing. And I feel...
Do you think there are levels to hate?
No, I think hate is hate.
Yeah.
The real genuine authentic energy of hate is hate. I don't think there's different levels to it. There are different ways that people exercise their hate to show it.
Well, let me ask you this, okay, to shake it up a little. Is it hate when you get to like the level of an Adolf Hitler, when you are like, I see nothing in these people, like I want them wiped from the face of the earth?
Yeah.
Or is it hate to where you hate somebody so bad and then you see them go through something and you're like, man, I wouldn't even wish that upon my worst enemy. Like, I'd rather them just get beat up or...
Yeah, that means you don't hate them.
Yeah, why are they your worst enemy if you wouldn't wish the worst thing upon them?
Well, okay, look at
That's
our brothers
why-
and sisters in the streets that people get killed by drive-bys and they go back and shoot the other person
Yes.
and whatnot, and you got this immense hate once you find out who the person is.
It's not hate though.
But that's all that's on your mind. You cannot wait to get even with them.
That's
But that's not
retaliation.
hate. That's hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what that is. And that's why I said I don't think there's different levels to hate. There's different ways that people execute their hate as a verb. But I always use this when I'm talking to people. We get on the subject of the word in that ends with the ER. I'm not gonna say it just because I don't know if
Might be YouTube sensitive.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So what I tell people is if you ever want to, let me start over. I've said to people, one, that's not even in my vibration. So I've never come into contact with somebody that wanted to use that word in offense
Right.
towards me or anybody that I know or love. But I also tell them, why at this point should that word bother you? And I have to tell them, look at the person who's saying it. The person who's saying it, look at the monster that comes out of them when they say it. You've never seen somebody be able to, at least I've never seen in my 37 years, a video of somebody saying that word who can say it without the monster coming out. There's an energy behind it. And that energy is hate. You can see it on them.
It's like
They
a
don't
demon.
Exactly. They're not just like, oh, you're an. They're like, you know what I'm saying? It's really nasty. That's hate.
They never say it with a calm sense.
No, they never say it in a calm sense. They
Just
never say it. Yeah, it's very, very.
It's spoken with inflection.
Yes, it's very piercing.
Yeah.
You know, but they have an immense amount of hate in them that comes out, and you see it. They can almost not even control it, right? Versus a black person who's getting that it's coming their way. You're gonna say, I don't like white people and I hate white people, but the reality is it's not a hate. That same energy is not present. You may have a energy that says, I want to be done with these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So whatever we got to do that, let's do that. But that energy is still not matched. That's a different kind of energy when you get into hate. And I think that's why when I was growing up, I remember, I don't know who the kid was, but I remember a kid saying like they hated somebody, and the adult had to really stop for a second and really explain to them, hate is a very strong word.
Right.
It has a very strong, deep, and heavy energy attached to it. So let's be more intellectual with our words and conveying what we're actually trying to say. That's why when you said like the brother shooting another brother and they go back and like, that's not hate, that's
true.
hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to identify stuff in the proper form, but you will know somebody really hate if we had a purge.
Whew, that's terrible. That's
But
terrible. I would hate to find out who actually out there hating.
Hate
You know,
you.
I used to be so naive to a lot of things growing up in the
I
world.
don't think
because-
anybody in the world hates me.
Yeah, and that's what I thought. You know,
And I'm going to continue to say
I'm
that.
this,
'cause
I'm that. You know what I'm saying?
That's the reality I live in.
And
the
then
end.
you get people that reveal those things to you, and it's just like,
Ain't my
wow,
business.
that's a surprise. Like I never knew I could have a hater in this world. Like I'm
I
out
don't
here.
have no haters.
You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy.
You don't
but
have no haters either, Mac.
we got honor, we got love.
Yes.
What are some other solutions that we could use to restore our Black community?
That's all I got.
Well,
Outside of doing your individual mission, whatever your individual mission is.
I would say more of us need
Back
to
rubs and booty tugs. No.
we can come home and do that after
I don't know what a booty tug
What
is.
is a booty
It just
tug?
rhymed. I don't know.
You let me know what's going on when you get
as
your
in,
booty
like,
tugged.
you know, grappling, right?
I just you don't grapple the booty.
We're not on that topic right now, y'all. We're trying to restore our community. I mean, we can restore each other at night.
I would add in
More
respect.
sex.
I would add in respect, value, maybe. You know what I'm saying? If we value things differently, or if we
Value.
have any
I like
value
that.
whatsoever
I like that, value.
towards certain things, our aspect, our mindsets, our what we see, it would change. It would
Okay.
change.
I like that.
So, and see, also what I was saying with honor too is it encompasses all the things that y'all are talking about, because it's like when I think of honor, I think of in a sense like a code. Like the code that we live by is that, like, okay, you know what? Even though I might have some hostile feelings against my neighbor, if I see someone break into his house and try to harm his daughter, the code says that, like, this is our kingdom. So I am going to defend his daughter with my life the same way I would defend one of my own.
Yeah, but you got some of your folks out there that's just like, that shit ain't none of my business.
But that's
go ahead.
That's a lack of honor. To honor. So
value. There has to be value within your honor, because
but
what are you honoring? And
But we got our people running around nowadays talking about, I know my worth and I ain't settling for this, that, and the other, but they don't
Bullshit.
honor.
And they make that
Bullshit.
whole
They don't,
list
but
over
they don't honor shit.
Don't know how to honor nothing.
I put it to you this way, and I've explained this many times outside of this. Now, it hasn't always ended up this way, because I know some of the viewers are going to try to refute me from what they've seen. But in our fraternity, I use the example of our Capricorn ball, which is it's carried out as a debutante. Now, that may not be our culture, but the idea behind it is that, you know, there was a certain honor in the way the gentlemen carry themselves versus the way the women carry themselves. You dance a certain way because you dress up that way because that was all we had back then when we partied. So it was like you're presenting yourself, your best self, to each other. That's honoring yourself. You know, the way you dance, you know, the woman follows and you step first. The way you dance shows her that you can lead. That's a sense of honor. You honor the way you step out of the house in the morning. You honor the way you keep your house. You honor the way you show up in certain locations.
Okay.
So that value that you're talking about, you have to honor it. Otherwise, it don't mean nothing. So it's like you can run around saying, I know my worth all you want, but
I think people
you
just
carry
say
yourself.
that.
You
They
carry
do.
yourself
They
a
just
certain
throwing
way.
it out there.
You know, no.
It's trendy to say that right now.
It's like standing underneath the basket and you 7 feet tall saying, yeah, I dare you to come in here.
I'm coming. It is my job to come in there. Like,
But
what are you going to do when I get
That's what
here?
he said.
Yeah. And when I come in there and I got your head down and I'm about to dunk on you and so
Like,
you ain't scaring nobody.
I see you there. I know what I got to do, because I'm coming there and I have one goal: score the ball.
Right.
Score the ball.
What are you doing once I get there?
If you let a little 6 foot tall point guard dunk on you, and I'm like, oh yeah, you ain't scaring nobody,
I'm a
bro.
Spud Webb, Muggsy Bowl.
You can talk like Patrick Ewing all you want. Bill Laimbeer, you ain't. No, you're soft as a feather.
Man,
Ay, man.
honor, love, value, black
Value.
people, black
Yes.
people, black people, black people. It is imperative. It is imperative that we start coming together.
Yeah, we got to.
We start coming together, literally.
Find your tribe, see what,
Man.
decide what y'all standing on, and move accordingly.
Man,
Definitely.
because to be real, in my opinion, we all about the same thing to a degree. You know what I'm saying? Why we can't come together to get that and then branch off however you gonna see fit.
Oh, shit.
The string theory. Shout out to Jade.
Hey.
Yeah. String. But yes, indeed, it's the Patio PolitiCz. Y'all already know what it's been. Y'all already know what it's going to always be.
Yeah.
Sir Mac, SIRMAC. Treble, terrible T, Mill Suave. You know what I'm saying? The beautiful, the graceful. Shanga, yeah.
She got that medicine, y'all.
Yeah. Shout outs once more to LP,
Boom.
the host. Shout outs to DJ, Infant, J. Shout outs to
Boom.
J5TH. And shout outs to y'all. Thank y'all for coming through and
There you
stepping
go,
underneath this
family.
patio and getting filthy with us for a little bit.
Yes.
We're going to be back at y'all with another one after this.
You are now rocking with the Patio PolitiCz.
Trying to be part of your life. We got whatever you like. Come on and just give us a try, yeah. Cause it's right up for life. Trying to be part of your life.